So we're going to start just sitting on the mat. If you're comfortable to kneel, have a go with kneeling. If it doesn't feel good, just put a couple of blankets underneath your bottom so you lift it up slightly. This is just quite good to massage into the tops of our feet. So if you're comfortable doing so, even for a short while, please do. I've got a bolster here, and in fact I've got two bolsters and a blanket. So get some props around you, some pillows, some blankets you can roll up and use to pop under your bottom, etc. So I'm just putting that aside for the moment. Starting off with kneeling, and of course yoga is yoking together. It is bringing together the body and the mind, and we do that through the breath, and that brings in the spirit. It is the inspiration, the bringing in of spirit. So get yourself comfortable, give your shoulders a little shake, take your fingertips out to the side and turn the palms, and just imagine that your palms are filling with all of the rushing and all the doing that all of us seem to have on our plates at the moment. All of the exhaustion, the plays and all the rest of it that we're going to see at schools, the running around and seeing people and buying gifts and lots of energy out. So I want you to imagine that all of the stuff that is not essentially you, but it's stuff that happens in life. And then take a deep breath in and just feel like you're gathering it all up, right up here, and then pause, and then just go, ha. And imagine it's just dropped away, let it go. And breathe in again, a deep full breath in, stretching your fingertips up. And then again, just go, ha. So the breath leaves the body very quickly. Full deep breath in, stretching the arms out and then up. Ha. Beautiful. I'm going to get you to take one arm up towards the ceiling, shoulders slightly down. Now drop your hips over to that side and stretch up and over laterally. So we're getting right down into the hip here, shoulder away from ears, and take some breaths underneath the armpits here. Again, breathe in deeply, sigh the breath out. And as you sigh your breath out, feel your lower jaw starting to shift away from your upper jaw. Stretch right up to your fingertips, and then as you exhale, let your shoulders slide down. And then just come up and over, shifting your hips off to the side. So your heel is just kind of in towards your sitting bone. Up and over it again. Lovely full deep breath in. Sigh the breath out. Massage the shoulder down your back as you breathe. Lovely. Coming back into the center. Fingertips on your thighs. Roll yourself into a curved ball. So you're stretching the muscles between your shoulders, tucking your tail, and then take a deep breath in, lift your shoulders right up towards your ears and slide them down your back at your chest. And then as you breathe out, it's an exaggerated rounding. And then as you breathe in, the shoulders come up and then down, exaggerated lift. Exhaling, and then inhaling. Your pelvis is sliding forward and then back. Tail is slightly tucking and then lifting. Whole spine, getting a massage. Deeply breathing in. Beautiful. Come back into the center. Take the fingertips onto the shoulder blades. Down with the elbows, right up, and then slide them down. And then all the way up as you inhale, and then slide them down. So as you slide them down, there's a bit of a ha. Breathe in, hold. Ha. Breathe in, slide. Ha. That's it. Now start to exaggerate the release down. So push your elbows down. Push your elbows down. A little bit of a different emphasis now. Pressing down, lifting up, pressing down, lifting up. Feeling the massaging action between the shoulder blades. Good. And then just give yourself a little rinse from side to side. That's it. Soft release release, and come back into the center. Drop your head, allow the shoulders to massage around, letting the head roll, the shoulders roll. You'll find that the pelvis kind of rolls around on the ankles as well, massaging and rolling one direction and the other direction, nice and loose. Beautiful. And now just take these feet out to the side from underneath you. We have a acupressure point right in the middle of the foot, underneath the ball of the foot, just where the ball of the foot intersects the arch of the foot. So I'm going to get you to take your thumb and press your thumb right in the center of that bit, underneath the ball of the foot, right in the center there. Press quite firmly, press down, and then inhale and give yourself a little twist over to the left, and then release back down again. Inhale, a twist, pressing down with your thumb, and release on the exhale. So as you breathe out, let your thumb kind of release from the pressure as well. And as you breathe in, push your knee, your right knee, a little bit down into the ground. So it feels like the twist is happening from the ball of your foot as you press your thumb into it, and also from the inside of your knee as you press that into the ground. Inhaling into the twist, exhaling, flowing out of it. Breathing in. And you can let your upper body kind of ripple with this movement. That's it. Beautiful. I'm going to get you to take that front foot out to the side a little bit here. And we're going to hinge forward until you feel a stretch on the outside of your thigh going into your buttock, slightly on this left-hand side. Shoulders away from ears, hinging from the hips and dropping. Now, breathe into the lower lobes of the back of your lungs and then exhale out. So breathing in, expanding into the back of the body, breathing out into the stretch. Keep loosening your lower jaw, and I invite you to make a bit of sound on the exhalation. So as you drop down, side out, nature's way to activate that vagus nerve is to sigh. So do a nice exaggerated sigh out. Breathing in deeply. Good. Come back into the center and then just swivel yourself so that you can take your right foot out to the side. Now, I'm just going to get you to focus on your breathing for a moment. We want to pull the breath in through the nostrils, right through the back of the nostrils. So it's like an accordion. You're pulling the breath in, and for the moment, we're just sighing the breath out, loose jaw. So breathing in deeply, take the breath down, and then just go, let it all release out. Slide your hand down towards your foot and come up and over for another lateral stretch. And then point your toes and lean up and over to the other side. And then pull your toes back and come up and over to your toes. And then point and stretch. Good. Let your shoulders slide down your back at any opportunity. Really work your toes, pulling them back, flaring them out, and then pointing them. And then again, breathing in. And this time as you come down, plant your hand down, launch yourself up, and give your body a full stretch, fingertips to toes. Pressure down through the heel of the hand. If that doesn't feel good on your shoulder, just come back down again. Now take the hand behind you, look down at the ground, stretch out through that middle finger and get that stretch right into the chest, the pectoral muscles, right down through the inside of the arm here. Nice deep breath in, shoulders slide down. Breathe in, stretch out through the middle finger. Take the hand up, slide it down. Very good. So just going to actually, we'll take our feet out in front of us for a moment. Take your knees from side to side, just window wipe knees from side to side so you can feel it in your hip joints. Massage, 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 massage. Good. And then we're just going to keep our feet over to the left this time. Left thumb going into that acupressure point, so just below the ball of the foot, right in the center, pressing quite hard, pressing into thumb, pressing into the inside of that left knee. As you inhale, you move into your twist, and then you release back. So we are rolling that left hip up and over slightly. So as we roll, we're getting into the psoas muscles, those hip flexors, which insert right into the lower back. So it's a really nice movement to do to unwind the hips and give ourselves a whole spine twist. Breathing in on the movement, releasing on the exhale. That's it. And again, hold this, press down into your thumb, and then just shuffle your front leg forward a little bit. And we're just going to hinge forward, pausing as soon as you start to feel the stretch into that right hip area, right down the right thigh. Now take a couple of conscious breaths into the back of your lungs, and then as you exhale, drop down a little bit further. That's it, so it's a pulse. Getting us ready for pigeon later. And down. Beautiful, just come up again. And we'll swivel over, we'll do this inner thigh stretch first. So getting into these adductors, pull the toes back, spread them out. Okay, so keep very active through those toes. Hands slide down towards the ankle, turn the chest slightly, up and over for lateral stretch. So we should hope you feel it right up here into the groin. Keep pressing down with that outer hip as well. So you don't want to lift the pelvis up. Nice full deep breath in, and then point the toe and lengthen up and over to the other side. So it's kind of a ballet-like movement. And then stretching toes to fingers. Now pull your toes back, spread your toes apart, push the ball of the foot away from you. So it's a lovely big stretch. One more of those. Flowing breath in, flowing breath out. Now push the hand into the ground, point the foot, and then come all the way up. Whole body stretch. And then take the hand behind you, look down at the ground, take some deep breaths in. Every time you exhale, pull your shoulder down. That's it. And then just take that hand up and slide it all the way down. Give your shoulders a little swish there. Come back onto hands behind you. Now, take your right ankle and place it on top of your left knee, and then push the floor away and lift your heart center up. So hopefully you're feeling a stretch here. Now your leg might be down here initially. See if you can slide it slightly towards you until you feel that stretch is exactly the same as pigeon. We're going right down here into the groin, into the hip, shoulders down away from here. So if this is happening, you want to push the heart up, push the floor away. Chin draws in, back of the head lifted. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, see if you can lean forward a tiny bit, a little bit deeper into the stretch. Releasing the jaw. Good, let's just massage that foot around to while away at a time. One direction, other direction. Fabulous. Drop the knees from side to side. And we'll do the same stretch on the other side. So you sideways here. Now, if you have bricks, you can always put your bricks behind you and on the floor. Other ankle on top, leg can be out here, and then slide it up until you feel the stretch, and then push the floor away and lift the heart center. So a little bit of upper back activation as well. And we want to use the breath. So remember, it is the breath that is yoking that busy, busy mind and the body together. So we're starting to drop away from that busy mind and get into the sensations of the body. See if you can use your breath to feel like the body is wrapping around this strong sensation in the hip. And you are breathing that strong sensation through the whole of the body. So you're softening it. That's the way. Beautiful. I'm just going to get you to come and sit for a moment. One ankle in front of the other. My right ankle is in front of the left ankle. If you need a blanket underneath your bottom here, if you feel like hips are tight, knees are up, and you're rounding, take a bit of height underneath your sitting bones so that you can be nice and tall here. Pivot forward. So you want to literally hinge forward until you feel a stretch into your hip joints here around those rotating muscles. Imagine there's a string from the heart center drawing you forward slightly. So you pause where you feel the stretch. Take a deep breath into the lower lobes of the back of your lungs. And then as you exhale, round and flop like this. Good. Just pause here. A couple of rippling breaths. So pause in your forward fold. And then from that heart center, imagine that string is being pulled forward and then up towards the ceiling. So you're scooping yourself up and then just drop back. Cross the ankles the other way. So that your feet are not close up like you're cross-legged normally. They're a bit further away. And the same thing, just hinging forward until you go, oh yeah, I can feel that stretch here. Good. Shoulders away from ears. Again, bricks can be very helpful just to have your hands a little bit higher. Breathe in. Back of the body is elongating, stretching out. And then when you've gone to your point of good stretch, go fold forward. And then take a couple of breaths where it feels like your back is parachuting up as you inhale and folding down as you exhale. Good. Heart center lifting, scooping. Oh, good. Take the right hand, drop it down, drop shoulder down, take it across the body, lock it into place with that left arm, gently press out with the right arm, gently pull it in with the left arm, and then slightly tilt your head over towards your hands. And just close your eyes for a moment and breathe into your neck and shoulder area. So you're sending your breath into the muscle fibers. And every time you exhale, you want to feel your shoulders sliding down. It's quite a strong stretch. You might move your head just a tiny fraction up or over a bit more, just noticing where you need the stretch. Deep ujjayi breathing. In and out, or ujjayi breathing in with a sighing breath out through the mouth. Good. Now stretch your fingertips out so you've got really electric hands, and pull your hands back, drop the shoulders and lift the heart center so you can feel the muscles between your shoulders squeeze. Lovely. And then take the other hand across, lock it into place, pulling out with that left arm, pulling in with the right arm. And then if it feels right for your neck, it might not. So just checking in, maybe taking the head across. And again, just close the eyes for a moment. See if you can really focus the breath and the mind's eye in the body and around the shoulder girdle. And just do subtle little movements, flowing movements inside the stretch. Just feeling where your body needs you to go. And then again, pull back those fingers. Pick the hands up, 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 up. And then go, Okay, so I'm going to get you to do 3 buzzy bee breaths with the fingers over the eyes and with the thumbs in the ears. And I'm just going to get you to notice how quickly your mind just can sink down into the body. So before we start, just notice the mind. This is one of these tricks that's great to teach the kids. Thumbs, I'm wearing this so my hair doesn't go in my eyes. Thumbs in your ears, but I know I look like I'm going skiing. Thumbs in your ears. You take your fingers over your eyes. I'll just tell you what we're doing. As you breathe in, imagine the breath is coming right up from your pelvic floor, right up through your spine. Yeah, so you're filling up. And then as you breathe out, and you create the noise as you make the buzzy bee noise, like a humming, buzzing bee sound. Let the buzz go around your head, and then as you breathe out and you create the sound, let it pour down through you. So it feels like this sound is dissipating through the cells of your body. So this is when we use the breath and the visualization for quite a profound effect, right? Very powerful pranayama practice. So we'll just do 3. Thumbs in the ears, eyes blocked, breathe in right up your spine. Beautiful. And again in your own time. And when you've done those 3, just dropping the hands down onto your lap, thumb and first finger pressing into each other, just noticing the quality of your mind after just creating those 3 extended exhalations with low vibrational tone. So that is a direct activation of the vagus nerve, and that is one of the key ways to get into that parasympathetic nervous system, that the calming, restorative state. So I'm going to get you just to close your eyes and focus on your breathing again. And on your inhalation, take your mind's eye from your tailbone right up your spine, right up through to the crown of your head and slightly beyond. And then as you breathe out, just imagine, like the buzzy bee sound, that the breath out is dissipating through the body, and there's just this lovely relaxation from the inside down onto the ground, into the pelvic floor, and then inhaling back up. Now, I like to add to this visualization that the breath is like a little fireball, little sparkles of light, like a little fireball, and it starts at the tailbone, and then as you inhale, this fireball comes right up your spine, right up to the crown of the head. On the exhalation, it goes through the pituitary gland, which is just behind your third eye point, so between the eyebrows, goes through the pituitary gland, and from there it dissipates all the way down. So this happens pretty quickly in a long inhale and a long exhale. So have a little go doing that. We'll just do 6 breaths in and then 6 breaths out, so 6 cycles. So get your lengthened spine, your shoulders dropping, and in your own time, visualizing that ball at the tailbone. And as you purposefully breathe in, Ujjayi breath, counting maybe 4, 5 beats up. And then as you breathe out, 5, maybe 6 beats down, you allow that little ball of fire, little ball of sparkling light to dissipate and soften and release any residual internal tension. So you use it as an internal massaging tool. Feeling your body expanding, rippling with the breath. Beautiful. So we're going to start moving now, but I'd love it if you could try and keep that sense of lengthening, expanding through the spine on the inhale, and softening and replenishing on the exhale. So I just want to get you to roll over onto all fours and keep your mind working from your tail up your spine and then dissipating on the exhalation through the body. Just start by massaging the hands around. We're going to do some rounds of cat and cow, so make sure your fingers are splayed out like a frog. And your hands are directly underneath your shoulders, knees are directly underneath the pelvis. And then lift the tail, attach that little sparkle of light. Inhale to ripple up through the spine, and then exhale and dissipate, release, soften. Inhale, lift, exhale, soften, release. Slow your breathing down. And try and breathe now both in and out of the nostrils. Not at the tip of the nostrils, but feel that your breath is pulling right up and into the big holes. Right up near that third eye point where our nose attaches to the skull. You might find that your pelvis wobbles slightly from side to side, shimmies from side to side as you move. Inhaling again. Now roll your pelvis around in a big circle and let your elbows and let your wrists be quite loose here. Let your shoulders dance around as well. Big massaging circles. Releasing one direction and then the other direction, starting with the tail. And once you've got the circling of the tail, involving the rest of the body, rolling it around. Beautiful. I'm going to get you to slide your knees further apart. Drop your pelvis down a little bit. Tummies towards the ground. Sitting bones are lifted. Stretch your right hand out to the side of your mat. Right shoulder dropping away from your ear. And then as you exhale, let your chest drop. And then walk your right fingers up and over to the left side of your mat. So you can stretch your ribs apart. You can feel a full body stretch right up the right side of your body. Slide your right hand back and do the same with the left hand, stretching it out over to the left side of your mat. Shoulder rolling away from your ears. Exhaling the chest down. Full front body stretch right under the armpit. Then up and over with that hand, getting that lovely lateral stretch right up and over to the fingertips from that left hip. Beautiful. Now bring your knees back together, tuck your toes under, and on your breath out, draw yourself up into a half down dog. So your knees are bent. The balls of the feet are pressing down into the mat. You're stretching the toes. And then imagine someone's got your tail, pulling it back and up. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Stretch your spine as much as you can. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, sigh the breath out and press one heel at a time down onto the ground. And focus on your calf muscles. And imagine your calf muscles are kind of melting down through your heels and into the ground. I think I need to take my socks off, so keep going. I've got thermal underwear on. So I'm getting a bit hot actually. Stretching it. Now take the knees across the midline of the body. So drop the knees across the midline of the body. This is kind of a swirly, dancey down dog. Keep rolling shoulders away from ears. And then looking up between the hands, take your feet wide on your mat and walk your feet up, bending the knees as much as you need to. Toes out, heels slightly in, feet really wide, and then drop yourself down into a squat. So knees nice and wide, tail is still lifted behind you. See if you can get either your forearms or your elbows pressing the knees away, maybe hands together if that's available to you. Try to keep those shoulders away from your ears. Draw them down, and that strength from your heart center is lifting the heart up. Beautiful. Breathing into the back of your lungs again. Every time you breathe in, see if you can press out a little bit, stretching those inner thighs. Good. Drop yourself forward again, hands down on your mat. Lift your tail up towards the ceiling. Heel toe your feet towards each other. Now, take your toes inwards and your heels slightly out. So you're pigeon-toed now. Bend the knees, fold yourself forward. This stimulates that pituitary gland, these forward folds. And just give yourself a little swish from side to side. Maybe you can just hold on to our elbows as we swish from side to side. And I want you to do a couple of blowing out breaths where you loosen that jaw, maybe even making a bit of noise like a horse. Like a you want to shake your jaw, shake your cheeks. Like that. Now roll the shoulders up towards your ears and then down your back. So get a bit of movement in those shoulders. And then interlace your hands behind you. If your hands don't reach there, hands on hips and then elbows up towards the ceiling. If they do reach, then draw your hands up towards the ceiling and then draw the whole shoulder girdle up towards the ceiling. So you stretch the front of your shoulders into your chest. And then just give yourself a little bit of movement from side to side, like so. Beautiful. Drop those hands down again. Push the floor away. Roll yourself up into a tabletop. Shoulders down away from your ears. Chin is in. Knees are slightly bent. Take a couple of breaths here and then push your feet down and out and see if you can straighten your legs a little bit. Tail is still out behind you. Base of the ribcage starts to draw in. Stretching the back of your legs here. Good. Take a nice deep breath in and then bend the knees and go, ah. And then breathe in again and come back into the stretch. Draw the base of the ribcage in so core is activated. And then breathing out, ah. Breathe in to ripple up, pause and extension. And then exhale, ah. And one more here, extension, chin is in, back is straight. Now let the hands go. This time push the floor away, down and out your feet. Roll yourself all the way up. Hands up towards the ceiling. Bend the knees and flow down, hands just above the knees. Push the floor away, flowing up. Back massage, fingertips up. And then hands down. Back rolling. So push and lift and flow. And fold, push, and lift, and then flow down, and fold. And this one, we're staying up. Take yourself up, grabbing hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Push down through that left foot. Come up and over, lateral stretch. Getting that stretch right down the side of the body. That's the way. And then bend the knees, tummy back into spine to come back into the center. Grab the other wrist, pushing the floor away with that right foot, up and over, lateral stretch. And then bending the knees, slowly coming down. Keep the knees bent, tummy back to spine as you take the hands behind you, backwards swimming. So we get full rotation through those shoulders. Yeah, just loosening the whole shoulder girdle. And if it feels comfortable, maybe doing it a little bit faster. So only if this feels comfortable, doing it at whatever rate feels good for you. Beautiful. Coming back into the center, taking a swish from side to side. Yeah, so we're not doing the full extended swish like we sometimes do, but just a loosening swish to get the upper back muscles to release. And that's it. Good. And then I'm going to get you to take your arms out to the side, maybe a little bit wider stance here, knees are bent, palms forward, and then starting with little circles. See how dropped my shoulders are, they're not up here, really important that they go right down. Keep the chin tucked in, the back of the head is lifting. Now see if you can make it a little bit bigger. Tummy back needs to come in, yeah, so the torso is straight. It's quite a bit of work on the core, and then bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, just to loosen the whole shoulder girdle. And then drop and give your Shoulders, a little rinse, like so. In fact, let's just circle the whole upper body. Rinse, release, like you're in a washing machine. One direction, and then the other direction. Whew. Good. Come across to a bit of wall space. We're just going to open these pectoral muscles a bit more. So what you want to do is take a foot close to the wall. So whichever foot is closer to the wall is my left foot. Hand behind you, so that you can use a door frame. First, hand behind you, elbows slightly down. Now bend your knee in towards the wall until you start to feel a stretch here into these chest muscles. It shouldn't be a nasty stretch, it should just be a nice stretch. Now the trick is to start breathing deeply. So you use the lung capacity, the increasing lung capacity, to gently feed into those muscle fibers and open up this area. Keep the base of the ribcage slightly drawn in, so you don't want to be flaring too much here. Now, after a few breaths, you might find you can turn your head a little bit, make the stretch a bit stronger. Lovely. Straighten the leg. Now, just drop the hand. This time, I'm going to get you to take the hand up towards the ceiling here, and then drop down again, knee towards the wall. So we're stretching right down here. It's a little bit like the one we did on the ground before. We're opening up right around the breast tissue here, down into this this rib cage, stretching the muscles between the ribs, the intercostal muscles. That's it. Slowly come down. We won't stay there long, and then roll the shoulder. Now, hand behind you. So take it to however low it feels okay. And this time I'm going to get you to bend into that front knee and come up onto your back toes if you can. So we're getting into the psoas muscles here as well as the chest muscles here. These guys kind of work opposite together. Breathe. Keep it relatively soft. Don't go crazy nonsense. It's all about soft breathing and allowing into stretching here and stretching here. That's it. Good. Okay. Let's, before we come onto the other side, just take both hands onto the wall and come into a tabletop for a moment. Shoulders away from ears. Lengthen the spine. That's it. Keep pulling your tail back so it feels like you have got an even stretch through legs and back. And bend the knees, roll yourself back up again. And we'll just do the same thing on the other side. So I'll come here so you can see me. So starting off, the right foot now is coming towards the wall, knees dropping into the wall, hand behind you, and then pause, breathe. Just make sure ribs are drawing in, and then after a breath or two, you might find you can move your head a bit. Really important that you don't push this. You just go to what feels like a nice stretch. Good. Let's take that hand down. Just rinse it, roll it. Hand up towards the ceiling this time. So again, dropping knee into the wall, and that is what's allowing you to get that stretch. I'm getting my rib cage to drop a little bit in towards the wall. So that whole right side of the body is kind of dropping inwards. Knee, ribs, armpit. Sigh the breath out. Lovely. Take that down. Again, just rinse the shoulder, give it a swirl. And this time I'm going to take the hand behind us and come into the psoas stretch as well. So you want to take that left foot back behind you a bit further, up on the ball of the foot, heel pushing away from you, bend into the front knee, and then sighing into it, breathing. Good. These get tight. Okay, so let's just see how that feels. Give your arms a little swish again, hopefully a little bit looser and more released. Come back onto your bit of wall space. We'll go back into the hamstrings and go back into the pituitary gland, where, of course, all our hormones are made. Now, this is a really good one for calming the adrenals. Our adrenal glands start to take over the production of our sex hormones when our ovaries shut up shop. And when they're busy pushing out cortisol because we're busy or we're sick or whatever, they won't be able to take us into production of progesterone in particular. Progesterone is our calming hormone. This helps. So this helps to just activate that vagus nerve and also stimulate the pituitary gland to get us more progesterone, basically. So we want to inch our bottom up the wall. So I'm kind of walking my sitting bones up the wall until you feel a nice stretch in the hamstrings, not too much. Feet aren't close to the wall. They're about, a good foot or two away from the wall. Now, fold yourself down, like so. Now, if you have got your hair in a ponytail, this won't work. And in fact, it won't work well with this band in my hair. But you want to grab, if you can, the back of your hair, so where it attaches into your neck, and just hold on to the hair there, and then drop the elbows down, and let the weight of your arms and your head traction your upper back. Really focusing on a long exhale and the pause at the end of the exhalation. So you can just sit in that pause. Very good. Drop the hands down. Heel toe your feet a little bit wider. Slide your bottom down the wall. So come back via a malasana, a squat again, releasing the inner thigh muscles. So your jaw will be nice and loose here. So unwind it away from your upper jaw as we open up into the groin. Now walk yourself like a bear forward and back into downward facing dog. So once you're on your mat, you might need to just rearrange your shoulders. And let's come right up onto the balls of the feet again, and then exhaling, sighing those heels down. Give your head a shake. Make a bit of noise. Take 2 more long exhalations. And then dropping down onto knees, grabbing a pillow or a bolster, whatever you got. And I want you to let your chest rest on your prop and let your bum be high in the air and let your knees slide apart. So you're just kind of coming into a bit of it's a mix between child pose and a bit of a drapey puppy dog stretch. Just kind of draping yourself over the prop, breathing into the back of your lungs and letting this become very restorative and restful. Deep stretch, but nice and restorative. Beautiful. Alrighty, and then I'm going to get you just to roll yourself over and onto your back. And want your prop to be underneath your chest. So just coming into a lovely big open chest stretch here. Now I'm going to turn this into what I call sort of babbling brook pose. So taking a rolled up pillow under my neck, and if you have got another prop, it's quite nice to have something underneath your knees as well. So this could be another pillow, bolster, or if you haven't got anything, don't worry about it. But it's quite nice to be in this full kind of flowing movement where neck is supported, yeah, so it doesn't feel like going back too much. Head is dropping back, neck supported, shoulders down, chest lifted, bottom either on the ground, or you might need an extra pillow or something underneath your bottom if it feels too much. And then it's quite nice to have your knees supported too, and arms out to the side and slightly up. Get yourself settled. It's not comfortable, but it feels like it's doing you good if you got it right. So take this extension position, and as you take some full deep breaths in, where we're really opening the ribs here, we're really extending the lung capacity, hold the top of the breath for just a couple of beats, and then just let the breath go. And as you let the breath go, it just leaves the body, and one sighing action out. See if you can just consciously soften the whole body. Let every muscle fiber just kind of melt into your props. Hopefully this is feeling nice. So remember these different moves. You always come back to this practice, but if you find something that works for your central nervous system, then come back to it. Just do it again and again. For the moment, I'm just going to get you to slide your props out from underneath you, and we're going to put a prop underneath your pelvis. So I've just got my bolster here underneath the pelvis, and that one go. And then just massage your back. So give your pelvis a couple of tilts one way and then the other, so you get a nice little massage into your lower back. Just allowing everything to recalibrate here. Upper back now is pressing into your mat. Psoas muscles are releasing. Pelvic organs are dropping away from pelvic floor. So this is a really nice, just little bow pose. Try taking the back of the hands onto your mat, shoulders away from your ears. Take a couple of breaths, maybe letting the knees drop out on the exhale. Noticing the exhalation is getting longer now that we have got the head down below the heart. Then go ahead and try taking one foot up towards the ceiling, massaging the ankle. And then the other foot up towards the ceiling, massaging the other ankle. And just swirling your feet around. You might need to adjust yourself on your pelvic, on your bolster. Give the back of the legs a little rub as you press the back of the pelvis into your bolster. And then just turn your feet out. So your heels are together and your toes are turning out, rubbing the outside of your legs. That's it. And then just slightly drift them apart, rub the inside of the legs. And then let them drift apart a little bit more so they go into not a big stretch, just a nice stretch. That's it. And then just bend the knees, grabbing hold of your calf muscles or maybe your ankles. Maybe toes if that feels okay, or the inside of your feet. Just whatever feels right tonight. No pushing, just a gentle stretch. Now see if you can press outwards a little bit with your elbows to gently increase the inner thigh stretch here. Belly is nice and soft, so this practice is not about activating the core, the pelvic floor. It's all about just softening and releasing, letting go, unwinding, which is such an important part of fitness, which in our busy mindset, in our busy lives, we tend to put this bit aside. And yet when we come to midlife, if we're revving in cortisol all the time, we'll just end up putting weight around our tummies. That's visceral fat. It's not good fat for our heart. It goes into the organs. And one of the ways that we can reduce that likelihood is to do these restorative practices on a regular basis. Let's just take the feet up towards the ceiling and give your legs a shake. Just vibrate your legs. Give them a lovely, try and get your thighs shaking, your calves shaking. I'm going to take my hands up as well and just rinse out the wrists and see if you can get your arms shaking right down into your shoulders. And then just review your jaw as well. Noise is optional, but it's quite nice. Beautiful. Stretching one side, so knee in. Oh, I've got a bolster there. It's quite nice actually. Knee in, extension, and then the other side, knee in, and then full body extension. That's the way. And then just take your prop, slide it down, put your feet on it, drop your knees from side to side. So window wiping the knees again, rinsing the spine, like so. And then just flop. It's actually quite nice because I've got two bolsters here. So if you happen to have two things and your feet can be lifted as well as your knees, it's really nice because it just kind of gives you a little bit of an inversion. Palms up, back of the hands on the mat, rock the head, settle the head, and then take 3 changing breaths so that you fill the lungs and then you sigh the breath out and you melt. So do that 3 times. And I'm going to take your awareness down into your right hand. So pulling your mind down into your right hand. And see if you can just feel into the vibration, the gentle tingling sensation of that right hand. And then draw your mind's eye up through your wrist, through your right elbow, right up into your shoulder. And as I say the names of the parts of your body, bring your attention to that part and see if you can feel an internal warmth, the softening of relaxation. And then slide your awareness down through the right side of your body, through the right waist and down into the right hip, swirling around that right hip and into the buttock. And then drawing your attention down the right thigh and into the right knee, down into the right calf and into the ankle, swirling your attention down through the top of the foot, the bottom of the foot, and the toes, and then drawing the attention back up through the pelvis and over into your left hand, tingling sensation, just that sense of vibration, sliding attention now up through left wrist and elbow, and up into shoulder, around the shoulder girdle, and then sliding down into the left waist, the left hip, around the left hip and the left buttock, down into the left thigh and knee, down through shin and calf to ankle, sliding down and around the bottom and the top of the foot and into the toes. And then bring your focus back up through into the pelvis and then sliding your mind's eye through your tummy button and then over to the right side of your chest, to the left side of your chest, up into the center where your throat is, and then right up through into the center between your eyebrows, and right up into the crown of the head, feeling a gentle vibration and swirling sensation at the crown of your head. And from this point, feeling warmth flowing down through the crown of your head, softening your mind as this relaxation goes down around the inside of the skull, softening the eye sockets, the muscles around the eyes, both cheeks softening, both sides of the jaw softening, feeling relaxation flowing down through neck, down through shoulders and chest, flowing down through torso and arms, down through pelvis and legs, down through into feet, flowing down on the exhale, flowing back up on the inhale, mind's eye flowing like a wave of energy moving through the body with each breath, ebbing and flowing in and out, up and down, ebb and flow. Just noticing that gentle pulse with each breath, body constantly moving inside, even in your external stillness. And when we allow ourselves to be exquisitely aware of our relaxed body, when we're not asleep, but we are deeply present and relaxed, this is a healing state. The state of Ishvara Pranadhara, when we have done what we can, we are moving forward in a positive direction, but ultimately we give over to something bigger than ourselves. It is that sense of freedom in surrender. This is what being absolutely present in this moment feels like. With each breath, you move from moment to moment, each moment unique, each moment a gift. And if your body is telling you to stay here and rest longer, then please just do. Make sure you're warm. If you're ready to finish your practice, gently wriggling into fingers and toes. Bringing movement back into the body. Shifting the head from side to side. Bending the knees, rolling over. And then be very fluid as you push the floor away and just come and sit, maybe keeping the eyes closed or looking just downwards so that you keep that internal focus. Just allowing yourself to be very aware of the sensation of the air on your skin. And then taking the hands into the heart center. Taking a couple of breaths where it feels like you're actually breathing through your hands, through your heart. So the heart energy is being focused on. The love and light in me bows to the love and the light in you. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.